Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a really interesting corner of the online business world. We're talking traffic generation and specifically what it actually means to get, laser-targeted leads for your business. Our source material today, it's a pretty detailed promotional page for a service called Lead Hero. And this page, it really presents itself as a solution, right, for a very common problem online entrepreneurs face.
Which is basically getting the right kind of attention, the right eyeballs on their offers.
Exactly. So our mission here is to figure out precisely what Lead Hero claims it does, how it positions itself, who it's actually for, and maybe most importantly, what kind of nuances pop up when you read their own descriptions closely.
Yeah, and it's fascinating how these pages are built. They hit those common pain points, like you said. Businesses want growth, they're frustrated, and then boom, here's the unique solution. It's often a masterclass in marketing language. But like you said, the real insight comes when we peel back the layers.
That pain point framing is key, isn't it? It really sets the stage. So, okay, let's get into Lead Hero's core offer. They call themselves a game-changing traffic optimization service.
Hmm,
And they're very specific about the niche. Make money online, work from home, business opportunity, that whole space.
right.
And the big promise, the headline, is laser-targeted traffic. That, and I quote, converts like never before.
And that immediately speaks to that frustration so many have being tired of purchasing low quality traffic, stuff that leads to poor conversions, just wasted ad money. It's a huge drain.
A huge one.
So Lead Hero steps up and says, we are the ultimate trusted traffic solution. For anyone listening who's in this world, that promise of laser targeted traffic, well, it's just a really refined process. Like every click matters.
It does. And with a promise that big, the immediate question is, okay, how? How do you supposedly deliver that? This is where Lead Hero talks about their top secret formula. Always sounds intriguing, doesn't it?
Always. Secret formulas.
So this formula has a few key parts they mention. First, unparalleled audience targeting. They say they use proprietary algorithms for this, to find people who are actively searching for make money online opportunities.
Proprietary algorithms. You hear that phrase everywhere in ad tech, don't you?
We do.
And, for listeners who've tried different traffic sources, the real question isn't just the claim, it's the how. Like, what makes these algorithms special? What data are they using that's different? It kind of makes you want more detail, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And then beyond just targeting, they talk about cutting-edge behavioral analysis,
Mhm.
monitoring user engagement, figuring out who the most responsive users are, and optimizing the traffic flow based on that.
Okay.
Then there's real-time traffic adjustment, so continuously monitoring, tweaking campaigns, aiming for consistent, high
Well,
quality.
constant optimization.
And finally, exclusive traffic sources. They mentioned getting this through long-term relationships with premium traffic providers.
So if you put all those pieces together, they're trying to paint this picture of extreme precision, right? Super
It's
efficient.
essentially surgical precision.
But that cutting edge behavioral analysis, for example, that invites a bit of scrutiny. I mean, real sophistication there usually needs massive amounts of data, maybe even AI. So you wonder, is it genuinely unique? Or is it maybe standard practice just described with, strong marketing words?
Good point.
And exclusive traffic sources, too. It always makes you ask, well, what makes them exclusive? Especially in a market that's so crowded, these are the things experienced marketers would likely probe deeper on.
Definitely. And the promised results, the benefits they advertise are just
Hmm.
huge. They talk about explosive growth, skyrocketing conversions. You're supposed to experience unparalleled success. Your ROI skyrockets. You get hyper-targeted traffic full of hungry buyers,
Henry Byers, yes.
leading to higher conversion rates, boosting your leads, sales, and revenue. I mean, it's everything you'd want. They even throw out red-hot buyer traffic and this really specific claim. 97% chance of sales, 100% T1 traffic.
Wow.
And just for clarity, T1 usually means those top-tier countries like the US, UK, Canada, Australia. Places known for higher spending power, generally better conversion rates.
Right. But that number, 97% chance of sales, I mean, in performance marketing, seeing a number like that without really heavy caveats, it should definitely make you pause and look closer. Because statistically, for just general traffic in this unpredictable online world, that figure seems, well, highly improbable.
It stands out for sure.
Yeah, it really highlights that tension between the marketing dream and, what's likely achievable on the ground.
And alongside all that, they also push the idea that it's a cost-effective solution.
Mm.
Plus, they offer real-time analytics. You get a comprehensive live click stats report to see how things are going.
Okay, so some transparency there with the stats report.
Yes. And interestingly, they mention you decide amount of clicks per day, so some control over the delivery pace. So with these really bold claims, this red-hot buyer traffic, you need proof, right? Social proof.
Yeah.
This is where Lead Hero rules out the testimonials, the success stories.
Of course.
They tell the story of Alex, an entrepreneur whose business apparently skyrocketed after using Lead Hero. Then they feature quotes from supposedly top marketers. Jessica S., called a successful online entrepreneur, says Lead Hero was a game changer for her. Massive increase in leads and sales.
Okay. Standard testimonial fare so far.
Then there's Dan Kahn, a 7-figure affiliate marketer. He claims, every single day I get sales and upsells with Glenn from Lead Hero. Glenn is presumably the person behind Lead Hero.
Right. Naming a person adds a touch of personality.
Jonathan Montoya is mentioned too, someone who has made over $1 million online. He's listed as a client. Dallas apparently said, I am speechless. I can't believe how good this traffic is.
Speechless, huh?
And Paul Turner, who apparently hates solo ads, tried Lead Hero, and now sales are flying in.
So hitting different angles there, even converting the skeptics, supposedly. But, for our listeners, it's always crucial to remember what testimonials are. They're marketing assets. Powerful ones, sure, designed to build trust. But what you really want is, ideally, verifiable data, or at least the context, the fine print around them.
That's a really important distinction. And speaking of context, there's one testimonial detail that's quite interesting. It's from Mark L., an affiliate marketer and home business owner. He says Lead Hero transformed his business. Standard enough.
Huh.
But then the source adds this very specific note about Mark. It says, Mark is a very experienced email marketer and understands how to write high-converting emails and get them to inbox using warmed-up sending from emails and good autoresponders.
Ah, now that's interesting.
Right. They also mention a Will and a Carlos as clients seeing results, but that note about Mark stands out.
It really does, because that little addition, that context about Mark's own expertise, it's subtle, but it's incredibly revealing, isn't it? It strongly suggests that while, maybe the traffic is good, the user's own skill, their ability to write great emails, manage deliverability, follow up, effectively plays a huge role, maybe even the decisive role.
Exactly. It adds a layer of nuance, maybe even a condition, to those broader claims of just easy skyrocketing success.
It implies it's not just about buying the traffic, it's about what you do with it, which is true for any traffic source, really.
Very true. You've hit on a critical point there, the user's own part in this, which brings us nicely to the cost, the investment. So how does Lead Hero price this game-changing service? Well, they're pushing a limited time offer, 25% off the first order. There's a countdown timer creating that urgency, you know the drill.
Classic scarcity tactic.
So with the discount, the prices look like this. 100 clicks for $69, down from $92. $200 clicks for $138, usually $184. Usually $184. $500 clicks run you $345, normally $460. And 1,000 clicks cost $690, discounted from $920.
Okay, so you're paying per click, essentially. Tiered pricing. Pretty standard model.
Yes. But here's a really significant point they make right there with the pricing. Note, there are no refunds once traffic has started. Very clear.
No refunds once it's running. That's important.
And they also mention you can opt for weekly subscription packages instead of one-time orders, presumably for ongoing traffic. Okay, so we've seen the promises, the testimonials, the price. Now let's dig into the fine print, the guarantees, the disclaimers. This is where the picture often gets, well, much clearer.
Absolutely. The FAQs and the terms often tell a different story, or at least add crucial context.
Right. So what does Lead Hero actually guarantee? They are specific about some things. They state, we'll deliver your purchased clicks traffic. Okay, straightforward. They guarantee it's 100% real traffic, no fake clicks or bots. They say they have systems for clean, bot-free traffic.
Which is a baseline expectation for paid traffic, really, or should be.
Should be, yes. They also say traffic usually starts within 72 hours, often faster, like 24, 36 hours. And crucially, all clicks ordered will be delivered. They also provide a tracking link for free.
Okay, so the guarantee is focused squarely on delivery of the clicks. Quantity and reality of the clicks.
Precisely, because here's what they explicitly state. They do not guarantee, we never guarantee results like conversions or sales.
Ah, there it is.
Because we don't know how each lead will react to your offer. That's the direct quote.
Right. Which directly contradicts the implied promise of that 97% chance of sales claim earlier, doesn't it?
It certainly seems to stand in sharp contrast. And they double down on the no refund policy by explaining why, they say. Once the traffic is delivered, we cannot refund, because the traffic would have turned into leads and even sales for you by the time it is delivered.
Hmm. That reasoning is a bit circular, isn't it? It assumes sales or leads happened, even though they don't guarantee them. But the policy itself is clear. No refunds post-delivery. And this is where, critical thinking is just essential for anyone considering this. You connect those bold claims, skyrocketing conversions, 97% chance of sales with these disclaimers, and it becomes clear. They guarantee they'll send the traffic. What happens after that? That's on the user. It's your offer, your funnel, your follow-up.
Exactly. The responsibility shifts.
It's a classic marketing tightrope walk, isn't it? Paint the dream, sell the aspiration, but clearly limit the actual guarantee in the terms. And the other disclaimers really hammer this home. They state testimonials are just for educational and exemplary purposes only, and explicitly not intended to incite sales.
So even the success stories come with a warning label, essentially.
Pretty much. And they go further. Business's results are not typical. Your results will vary based upon the effort and education of your business's employees and management, the business model, and market forces beyond anyone's control.
That's a pretty comprehensive disclaimer, covering effort, skill, model, and external factors.
It is, and they also put the onus on the user for legal compliance when contacting leads, because laws differ everywhere.
Right.
And this one's interesting, too. They're not responsible for any autoresponder shutdowns or lost income from using their product.
Okay, that suggests potential issues with how the leads might interact with email systems, or maybe the type of offers being promoted.
Could be. It's another risk factor placed on the user.
And just to really nail it down, Lead Hero explicitly states they make no claims or representations that by using any of our products or apps will earn any money or make you money.
So despite all the talk of sales, conversions, and ROI earlier, the final official word is no guarantee of making money.
So, after digging through all that, what's the takeaway for you listening to this? You're trying to stay informed in this, let's face it, often confusing online business space. We've unpacked Lead Hero. It's a service promising, very targeted traffic, specifically for niches like make money online. It's backed by some strong-sounding testimonials. But, and it's a big but, it comes with very clear, specific limits on guarantees. The responsibility for turning clicks into cash. That's laid firmly at the user's feet in the disclaimers.
Yeah, this deep dive really just highlights how important it is to look past the headlines, past the big shiny promises. You have to understand the full context, especially when big results are being dangled. It's about separating the marketing pitch from the actual contractual guarantee.
Absolutely. Distinguishing possibility from promise.
And maybe here's something to think about. Consider how often, in marketing generally, the most exciting, enticing promises are paired with these quiet, subtle, but really crucial disclaimers that shift the risk or responsibility. What does that tension tell us about the balance between, aspiration, what we hope for, and the practical reality of actually achieving success, especially in the fast-moving world of online business opportunities?